Good afternoon. It's time for the overview of week 3. Hard to believe it's already week 3 of the semester. And in case you hadn't figured out, I'm going to try to post the weekly agenda as early as possible. So, based on your introduction posts and conversations I've had, via email with several of you, I recognize that y'all are busy. And sometimes you'll just have a little bit of time and maybe you can kind of work ahead. And maybe you're like, oh, I don't have any time this weekend, but maybe I'll have time on Monday to work on things, whatever. So I'm trying to post these things as early as possible. So in week 3, the content that you're going to engage with is the chapter 3 of asking the right questions. And in fact, this is the first chapter where you're actually asking a question, which is what are the issue and the conclusion. So one thing I want to stress right away, and you're going to get tired of hearing this, I'm warning you right now, because I'm going to say this multiple times throughout the semester, or some variation of this. You're not looking for your conclusion about the content, you're looking for what the author is presenting as their conclusion. If it's a video, if it's a tweet even, if it's a chapter in a book, or if it's an article, you're not looking for your stuff yet, your opinion of the article. You're looking to see what issue the author is addressing and what their conclusion is about that issue. And I've got the quote here from I think it's the first sentence in the chapter, which is, before we can evaluate someone else's reasoning, we must first find it. So the very first thing of evaluating is you have to understand what was written. And that's where asking the questions come in. Then you're going to start what I'm calling Introduction to Academic Research. So we're just doing a light introduction this week, and you're going to read a couple of things and watch a video about what a scholarly article is. So your assignments for this week, you have 2 main assignments. You have the discussion. So cast your minds back to the first week of class. When I told you that discussions will happen every other week. So now we're here for a discussion. And so the discussions, just to refresh your memory about how they work. Well, first of all, review the rubric and the guide that's posted in D2L. I will give you 2 to 3 questions. This week I gave you 3 questions. You just need to pick one, and then you write on it. And your response needs to be like 150 to 200 words. And then you post to the discussion forum in D2L. You have to have your first post in by Thursday, September 8th at midnight, essentially. You will not be able to see anybody else's posts until you post your own. Then, once you've posted, you can look through what other people have said, and you need to respond to 2 classmates by Monday. You cannot do all of your posting on the same day. You have to spread it out over at least 2 days. You can post more times. I mean, I know sometimes you get a conversation going, and I encourage that, because that's what would happen in class. Basically, we're trying to duplicate the kind of discussion work that would happen in an in-person class. We're doing it on the discussion forums. The discussion is worth 25 points. So one reason why we're doing discussions and we're doing journal posts is that one of the key things about critical thinking, and they talk about this in your book, I'm not sure they hit it as much as I would like, is not only is critical thinking about understanding the information that's coming to you. So maybe you're watching news about the presidential election, or local news about like the school board's decision to try to get more money for a new school or anything like that. So there's that. You're taking in that information. You want to be able to understand it and think through it and see what are they trying to really tell me here. But you also have to turn that around and communicate yourself about things. So obviously at work, I mean, like for me, I'm a librarian. So sometimes I have to communicate with other librarians about whatever project I'm working on. And so being a critical thinker is helpful when you are communicating. So the way you're going to demonstrate some of your critical thinking is participating in the discussion, which would be the equivalent of having a conversation with someone, and then participating in, doing your journal post, which is a little longer and maybe more closer to what you would do like as a memo you would send maybe your supervisor or boss at work. So the other assignment is the week 3 quiz. So, like the one for week 2, it's short answer and multiple choice. And when I say multiple choice, it's really true false, except I'm not using the words true false. Basically, there's 2 options instead of 4. You're going to identify prescriptive and descriptive issues. You're going to identify the issue and conclusion for 2 passages that I'm giving you. Having you look at a couple of articles, and you're going to tell me if they're scholarly or popular. You have 1 attempt, you have 120 minutes, and it's worth 20 points. It's due on Monday at midnight, so the 12th at midnight. So, okay, I look forward to reading your discussion post this week. Thanks.